All right. So we like to dig deeper in this show. So I got a couple questions for you all. So I know that Darwin and Cannon, you guys pretty much agreed that you are almost 100% responsible. You're about 100% responsible within some restrictions, right? So, and you both mentioned compatibility. What happens if you're not compatible? What do you all think? What do you think needs to be done? Let's say you've married somebody who you're not compatible with. Your sex drives are on the opposite spectrums, or one person likes it this way, another person likes it that way. What would you say in that situation? Because that happens, right? I've heard of it happening. Go ahead, Darren.
Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I just feel like I would be compatible with anybody. I'm just like I mean, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, like I'm kind of I'm trying to think, like, could there ever be a time where, like, I wouldn't, and I'm pretty sure, and this is just my ego speaking, but I'm pretty sure some women have faked some orgasms with me in the past, and I don't really care about that, but I don't really know neither. But as long as I don't know, I'm okay with it, right? But if me and my wife, I don't think I'd be married to her, point blank. I think sex is a big part of being with someone. Like, if you're not being satisfied sexually, that will lead to cheating. I definitely think that. That sex is like, I think about sex all the time. So something that you think about all the time, and if I could just walk around and say one word and have an orgasm, I would do that all day. Just about, you know what I'm saying? So if I had a woman that couldn't give me that satisfaction, then I would have to leave her, because I'm going to be wilding out on her. It's going to be reckless. So, and I wouldn't even care. I'll blame her. So I'd be justified. Like, yeah, you weren't doing this right. You didn't bop me off right, or whatever. Whatever she didn't do right. I'm feeling justified for going out and getting what I deserve.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I agree with that totally. When you said, when it's just not compatible, or y'all just don't like the same things, y'all have these wildly different, sex drives. I think that that's a huge problem. I think that a lot of people, when that does happen, they do run into a lot of problems, because it's hard to, like I said, it is a rhyme and reason to sex, and sex is not only to have children. It also is what helps you build a connection with your partner. You have to think about it psychologically too, like from a woman or a man's perspective. Like, what does that do to you if you don't feel desired by your partner? Like, they could just have a lower sex drive than you, right? Let's say you like to have it way more often than they do, but they just don't, and they turn you down a lot. So that's not gonna make you feel desired, like that's not gonna make you feel
And
happy
then and then another thing,
fulfilled in your life. So I just think that that's
have you
tough.
another thing, have you ever tried to have makeup sex with someone who just didn't do it for you? It's like the worst thing ever, right? Like it's nothing someone that doesn't do it for you can do for you. You know what I'm saying? When you get mad at them, like, the argument will last forever. But if you got a sexy person and you about to get some good that night, you gonna let some things pass, right? You gonna let it be like, all right, cool. Let me just drop this, because I don't want to miss out on what I got going on tonight. But if it's whack, you gonna be like, you know what? Yeah, I didn't want to eat that tonight. You made that burnt chicken, and I just can't get with that. You're not gonna let stuff pass so easy. So I think sex is really big.
Okay. All right. So compatibility is what you guys are saying is very, very important. Um, Tony, you said something a little different. You said that people are responsible, 100% responsible for their own sexual satisfaction, and it is a person's responsibility to communicate with who they're with. Can you explain a little bit more?
Yeah. So I feel like you're 100% responsible, because you have to find somebody who is, sexually compatible with you, emotionally and everything else, spiritually compatible with you, and it's your responsibility to find that person. And if they're not compatible in that way, it's your fault for sticking with them in the first place. And also, I mean, it's not going to be perfect at first. It could be something that you have to work on. Maybe it's something that she needs to train you better on, or something you need to train her better on. But as long as people are both open, willing to communicate, then everything is everything. Everything's going to be good. So, but somebody not willing to listen, not willing to change, that's just going to fuck the whole thing up, basically.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to communicate, but your partner or you yourself have to respond to your partner and make some
Right.
effort. Would you agree with
Right.
that?
They have to communicate with you what they desire. If it's something off, you got to be comfortable enough to say that. You have to say like, this, do it like this, move your leg over here, whatever it is. And then once it's almost like a building block. It's like, once you fix it once, you should never have to say it again. Maybe twice. After that, you got it. And then it's a building block. So now you have this big foundation, and then you just build on it from there.
Okay.
And I would say correct it early, because if you wait too late, you're like, you've been doing it wrong for years, you ain't said nothing, correct it early. Just do yourself a favor. Say something soon. If that person wasn't open with you and telling you all the things that you were doing right and all the things you were doing wrong, you have no idea what you're doing going into the next relationship. So that's what I feel like a lot of guys do girls a disservice, because they're not critiquing. They don't just speak their mind and say, look, I didn't like this. So when they go into the next relationship, they're doing the same thing, thinking it's okay, and it's not.
I agree with that, but I don't agree with that.
Okay, because tell me why.
Every man is different, right? So what she was doing with that man probably didn't work, but she can do the same thing with the next man and it probably work. So his critique won't mean nothing with the next man. Like it's like a start over. You starting all the way over now.
But you don't start at level 0 though. You starting at level, maybe you at level 8, and then you got to bump down to level 5.
Let me ask y'all something, fellas.
5 was good.
Let me ask y'all something, fellas.
Hold on, pause, Rashad, before you go.
Go ahead.
These levels, because Darwin always be talking about level. Is this a man thing where y'all got like y'all level it?
Well, no, this is what I'm about to kind of ask. So
go ahead.
Okay, I'm kind of more old-fashioned, so maybe I'm not the same. But like, do you fellas, do you prefer women who are less experienced or more experienced? More? Do you?
I would say more. In my mind, I don't like that she's more experienced, but I like that shit though.
See, I like the less experienced, because it's like I can show you what I like. Like I've been with more experience, and it's like, damn, how many dudes you done that with and all that shit. So
right, exactly. So,
yeah,
I mean, so in your mind, like if you can build a perfect thing that don't exist, it will be a girl with a bunch of experience that was just naturally good at it. Like she's a prodigy. She's a sex prodigy.
I'm the opposite.
I'm just saying. No, I'm saying if you had a girl and she's like, "Oh, I'm a virgin," you knew she was a virgin, verifiable, all that good stuff. But for whatever reason, she was a sex prodigy. Wouldn't you prefer that?
Exactly. So experience doesn't necessarily mean a number of people you mess with. Experience can mean like you're just experiencing sex. You probably like at the age of 13, I had this little Asian book with like 1,000 positions in it that I used to just read. Like
Kama Sutra.
And like, you get experience by, you don't have to have a lot of sexual partners, but the things you do with that sexual partner, you can get experienced in. Like you could experience a lot of things with one person, and then the next person you went with, they could have been with 10 people and still didn't experience the things that you did with one person.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's like the worst
could mean a lot of things.
Right. So you got a lot of partners and don't know what you're doing.
Well, we got a question from the audience too.
Okay.
That what if like your partner has like some type of health issue or something that's preventing them from satisfying you sexually, and then what about the other partner being frustrated about that?
Like dryness?
What are you talking about? Yeah, you gotta. What's the health issue?
What is this?
I want to go back to kind of what Darwin was insinuating. See, we gotta read. They got material out there for those of us who have not been out there. They have books, visual aids, videos. You gotta educate yourself about sex. Yeah, you gotta educate yourself about sex.
Yeah.
I will say this. I have some books, some readings by my bedside, okay, that helped me when I was in college. Helped me, with being a wife, being in a long-term relationship. You got to read about this stuff. You can't just automatically just jump in there and think, okay, I'm going to do the best I can and go with it. No, you got to prepare. You know, experience is not always just out there. It's about, you know, educating yourself, you know, reading.
Is that a woman
you know.
thing? Fellas, have y'all read a book? Well, Darwin said he did, so
I never read no book.
yeah, I never read a
I ain't never read no
I
book.
have.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong, but guys are like, no, I got this instinctually. Guys are more hands-on, you know, practice. So she's not wrong, but at the same time, like, nah, never.
And if your preference is to, you can read and do that too. You know,
I mean,
for some women,
you should do both. If you're gonna do the books,
the thing is, what I was gonna say,
you're gonna have to practice it out.
I do think that that's important too, at least to educate yourself on certain things, like at least the other person's body, like the other person's how they body work. Because how would you know unless you, like you said, you got practice or you have that body part? And what I mean by that is like, you know, there's certain areas on a woman that's more sensitive than others for the most part, and things like that. And if you don't have any experience in that, how would you know unless you read like an anatomy book or something? Like you wouldn't even.
It's the elbow, right?
You'd be like, let me get like, or you know, whatever. Like you wouldn't know. So stuff like that, you know, it does help to know.
So what I do, like nothing is like the first time, right? When you with somebody and the first time you insert, you see that facial expression, and you like, oh, yeah, I got it, right? And like certain body movements, certain ways she roll her eyes back, face she make, noises she make, right? So as a man, I'm always trying to revisit that, right? So I'm always paying attention to see if I did something that made her go back to that first time. If I touched a different spot, if a way I move made her feel a certain way, or moan that way, so I can know what to do next time when I want to see that same facial expression. Okay, I got to go this way, or I got to go that way. So it's all about like learning. It's like you got to study your partner. It's like school. You know, if you want to get an A in sex, you got to do some studying.